Go play. Go play.
Hey everyone, Janie here. Welcome back to my garden. I obviously have a special guest here today. I have Jim and Stephany from HortTube visiting this weekend. They are camping in our yard,
which we'll do. Which is
amazing. So you're on your big trip around the country?
Yeah, we went north and went up through Philadelphia and visited some friends, and then we ended up in Canada, and then two of them are having a blast.
They are obsessed with each other.
We went all the way across the country and then down to you. So we're almost going to do the whole square.
I was watching you, and I was like, he better come. If he's in California, he better come by.
Yeah, we were visiting the Redwoods, and I was like looking at how we were going to cut across California. I was like, we got time, so let's go see him.
Yes,
let's go see him.
Because you came 2 years ago.
We did, and this is completely evolved from what it was.
You came, like, we were just here for a couple years. No, a couple months, excuse me. Yeah. And I was so embarrassed that Jim Putnam.
Well, no, you weren't nothing to be embarrassed about, and you had a hurt. You were on a little wheeler thing, wheeling around.
Yeah, I was like, here's my pile of dirt and wood chips, right? But you were very nice about it. So
I mean, look how far you've come in 2 years.
Yeah, I'm really happy about it. So if you guys aren't familiar with Jim, I'm sure you guys know Jim from HortTube. He's basically the guy who taught me gardening. He teaches me everything I know about plants. You're the ultimate plant nerd, right?
Yeah, well, that's me.
Ultimate plant nerd.
Yes.
But I love it because we actually filmed a garden tour yesterday for your channel.
Yes.
And as I was walking around and showing him, he starts telling me about plants that are in my garden. Like, oh, did you know this? Oh, did you know this? And it's like, no, go. Tell me more.
Well, good. I'm glad I still can teach something.
Yeah. So you're a horticulturist.
Yes.
Yeah. And Stephany, what are you? You're both of them are horticulturists.
She went to design. She went to school for design.
Okay, landscape design, and then you're a nurseryman, lifelong nurseryman.
Yeah, 40 years I've been doing horticulture of some kind, and Steph and I like to botanize too. With like these two urchins.
I know.
But
it's good.
Monty and Griffin are fast friends. It just happened immediately like that yesterday.
I know, and it's such a benefit. This meadow here, Griffin has been like dragging himself along the meadow. I think he likes the texture of it. So. Yeah. They are very happy.
They're very happy. But 40 years of this, and then Steph and I like to botanize and do the horticulture thing. So we do the plants in the real world and the plants in the man-made spaces.
It's just super cool, and I love talking to you and hearing what you have to say. Watching your channel, I think you have a really interesting point of view on gardening, and I just think it's really neat to hear what your scientific mind, how you look at my garden, you know?
Yeah, well, and you did the wood chip thing just like we did in Raleigh, and it looks great.
Thanks. Thanks. So let's get started, because I know you started talking to me about crepe myrtles yesterday, and I was like, wait, I want to film it. So let's go over and let's show my Tuscarora crepe myrtles, and then you can give us a little lesson on them.
Okay.
All right. So here in California, crepe myrtles are a big deal. We have crepe myrtles everywhere, and I know same for you guys.
Same for us from Raleigh, and we see them. People in New York try them, and people in the middle of the country try them, and they'll just have them die back to the ground, and then they bloom on new growth, so they can. Yeah,
they still get color. It's just not.
Yeah, they don't become giant trees for those people. And there's some ones that are reputedly zone 6, consistently hardy ones, and I'm going to fail to remember a name right this minute. But there's a small white one I'll remember the name at some point, and I'll tell you that's reputedly always zone 6 hardy, and a few others. But people try them. But from us south, it's just absolutely.
To me, they just seem like a staple tree that they're so easy to plant. They're so easy to grow. They look beautiful, most of the season. Even the bark is really beautiful. Yeah. And these are Tuscaroras, and you were telling me that Tuscarora is a Native Indian name, Native American name.
Well, okay, so these are the National Arboretum set out to make. When we started in this business 40 years ago, a lot of the crepe myrtles got powdery mildew, really, really badly. Yeah. So this Lagestromia indica was crossed with Lagestromia ferrari, which is it's disease resistant, but not as cold hardy.
Okay.
So you got some of the cold hardy and the floriferousness of indica and combined it with one that was disease resistant.
Okay.
And the National Arboretum introduced all these out into the world. The epithet indica means from that region of India, and so if you were to really nerd out on it, there's a guy named Martin von Lagerstrom is who these are named after. He was a friend of Linnaeus, and he was in the trading in India.
See what I mean by plant nerd?
But I mean, this is true. This is a true story.
Yeah.
And so he knew Linnaeus, and Linnaeus named a lot of the plants that we have out in the world.
Yeah.
but it's from this area of like Indochina area, and then so I don't know why the National Arboretum then decided to give them names from Native American tribes, but Tuscarora, Tonto, Natchez, any of those with those names are going to be the disease-resistant ones that are out in the world.
Which are kind of the most common ones. Those are the ones
they are the and there's a lot of obviously new introductions and stuff.
Yeah,
some of them, go back and give you a little bit of mildew, but and some black foliage ones and all kinds of things. But Tuscarora has been a staple. It's got the great red bark. It's got
beautiful
this reddish, almost red flower on it, pinkish red flower on it. Blooms a long time, but anyway, that's the nerdy version of.
That's really so it's they're named after Native Americans, but they're actually from India, so it's a little bit.
I don't know. I don't know what that is. Why they named them after Native American Indian tribes, but they did. And so that whole series, any of them you find from that series, they're all the good varieties. And there's some dwarf ones. And if you look, I think there's a chart for the dwarfs and semi-dwarfs. And Tuscarora is considered a standard. It's going to get big.
I have a pink velour over there, and I think that's a semi-dwarf. And then I have some of the center stage pinks in the backyard, which are a little bit smaller. So it's just really interesting to hear you. It's like, I had no idea Tuscarora was even a Native American name.
It's just when Steph and I travel a ton and you go through. Well, you have a lot of tribal land. Close to you.
Just right down the street, right?
It's always interesting to go through those tribal lands and then get a little bit of history of that as we go, but not related to crepe myrtles, really.
Not at all.
I don't know why.
Not at all. So tell me more. You were talking to me about, this is my little gem magnolia that I have here, and I know you're from the land of magnolias.
Yes.
The most I know about this tree is that it's an evergreen magnolia, which is great.
Yeah.
I thought it was only going to get like 10 or 12 feet tall, but you told me something different.
Yeah, these will get 30 feet tall. I had one in my garden that was 20 feet tall, and then I had voles actually chew the roots on a 20-foot tall tree.
Really?
I started losing about half my leaves, and then I went over and shook it, and it was loose in the ground.
Oh, no.
From voles. This was years ago, but it's narrow. It was more picked because it's narrow.
Yeah.
But yours is still blooming pretty late in the season. Ours are.
Mine blooms I feel like all year round. It's just been blooming and just a little bit, not intensely. You know what I mean? Right. But we have a lot. We have some grandifloras around here, but this is probably the main variety that we get.
These come up from seed in our backyard. Regular Magnolia grandifloras. We have one in the very back of the lawn. But then there's selections like this.
Yeah.
And then if you're in colder areas, Bracken's Brown Beauty is considered one of the more cold hardy ones.
Yeah.
There's a couple out there that are like, zone 6 and 5B hardy. And so we'll see southern magnolias way up into the northern part of the country.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. And then over here to California.
Yeah.
In the dry, it's a pretty versatile plant.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. I think that's the dryness is probably the hardest thing that I noticed through these. But there are a lot of them just kind of out like in parks and stuff like that are doing really well. I was telling you about some of the issues that I was having with gardenias and camellias and what else was I saying? Chinese fringe flower. Yeah. And you were saying...
Well, immediately when I hear all of those leafy evergreens that I know like acid soils and then you're struggling with them.
Yeah.
And I also see that the leafy evergreen that you have that's doing well are boxwoods. Yeah. That usually tells me it's a pretty high pH.
Yeah.
So I think your pH is likely over 7.
Yeah.
Neutral is 7. It's a 1 to 14 scale. 7 is neutral. 6.5 is kind of the sweet spot for all gardeners.
Really?
Yeah, because then you can try everything, but you have enough available iron for the iron feeders.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's like, and I have a video on my channel about this from years ago about why soil pH is so important.
Yeah.
It's not a great video other than the learning part of it's good, but my video work
the
was
content
terrible.
Of it is good.
And I was
but it's really fun if you go back and watch his old videos. They're amazing. They're great. They're good.
You're trying to teach, but
the content's there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not. I wanted people to get from that video that you don't necessarily need to fight. Once you know, then there's plants that are completely adaptable to alkaline soil. You don't have to fight it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are then immediately after I tell you have a high pH going to want to dump sulfur out here.
So you don't think I should do any of that? You think
I think you should just pick plants that are thriving in your 7.5 soil.
Okay.
And why fight it?
Why try and fight it? Yeah.
Everything, it's always going to try to go back toward the pH that it was.
Yeah.
And so if you look, there's a map that you can look up, and I've shown it on my channel before, that shows the general pHs of the country, of, you know, just a national map. There's little spaces in every county that are probably different. But if you look at the general map of the country, the low pH places are places that get regular rainfall.
Yeah.
The high pH places, the lime just doesn't get washed out of the soil.
Yeah.
So you end up with a high pH in areas that have seasonal rainfall or no rainfall.
Yeah.
If you look at that on a map. So if you're in an area that's you know, but get your pH checked.
I know.
For sure, everybody. And then, like I say, there's a whole group of plants for you. Yeah. There's a whole world for you. You don't have to go and fight.
Yeah.
You know.
Right plant, right place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, I mean, and there's a way you could fight it, right? But why? Especially because I think it's my water. I have a lot of boron in my water. That's like kind of a known thing around here. Right. So I'm going to be fighting against even the water. You know what I mean?
And some things can lock other things up. That's the one thing you may learn from a soil test as well. If you're way too high on something, sometimes it can lock something else up.
Yeah.
But you know, again, you have so many beautiful things in the first 2 years out here.
I know.
There's plenty of things.
I can work around having a little higher.
Yeah, but there's other fragrant things.
I know.
You can have lots of other fragrant things.
Yeah.
And
that's what's really, I think that's what's really interesting about hearing about gardens and looking at gardens in all areas of the country is like, you can grow some things that I can't grow. Yeah. I can grow some things you can't grow. And that's the beauty of it. That's how, that's why it's fun. Yeah. We don't have to all grow the same thing and have the same looking garden, you know?
I mean, Steph and I are traveling to see giant sequoias. We don't want a giant sequoia in our garden.
No? You don't want a giant sequoia?
You know, whatever it is. Yeah. We go and look at it in other places, go look at it in other gardens. And it's good enough. I don't have to own it, you know, necessarily, and then spend all of my time. And I always say, like, if you look in any garden and look around, you're going to go, man, 90% of my worry and 90% of my time is 5% of these plants.
I know.
Take them 5% and go.
It's time to go. And that's usually how I feel is like halfway through the year, I'm like, all right, I'm tired of dealing with this. Like, let's get this out of here. Yeah. That's how I feel about my camellias right now, which is so sad because I love camellias, but they're such a pain.
And it might be, you know, again, it could be something else, but I suspect.
I think I got to get it tested. I've just been slacking on getting it tested. Yeah. Now, you're a huge proponent of the wood chips.
Yes.
I feel like I made Jim proud by using wood chips.
Yeah, now you had the pile here when we were, this bed right here was one pile of wood chips. Yeah. Right here.
Looks a lot different now.
It looks amazing. But
how often do you replenish your wood chips in your garden?
So I kind of start the garden with this. We get regular rainfall, so I probably don't need to. I'll start the garden with this, and then I use a more decorative mulch in the future.
Yeah.
But for you out here in this dry season thing that you have, and you're conserving well water, and you're trying to be as, you know, stretching a gallon of water as far as you can stretch it. Yeah. I'm probably this is my mulch. I mean, that should be my mulch.
Yeah. I mean, I wish it could be a little prettier, but I think it's more important to have beautiful plants than to have beautiful mulch.
Yeah, and everything's filling in. So eventually this
and that's my goal is to have every place, you know, ground cover, all that kind of rocks where we don't have ground cover, all that kind of stuff, because I want all of my soil covered. So that's the goal.
Some of the decorative mulches I can't pile as deep. But the chunkier material like this, I can go a little bit deeper, you know, and it still breathes. It doesn't become anaerobic.
It's the different sizes.
Yeah, it's different sizes, chunkiest material, and this will help you hold water in place. Where if I went this thick with my decorative hardwood mulch, you know, I might start to create anaerobic conditions, or water might not be able to actually, may have more of kind of a hard shell that doesn't allow, but this allows everything into the ground and and does a good enough job blocking weeds.
Right,
you know?
and I like that it breaks down, you know what I mean, so I know that it's feeding my soil and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not saying that you have to do arborist wood chips or wood chips in general, but mulch is definitely, like, mulch, right? Mulch is super important.
Well, it's soil and knowing about your soil, and then everything else is just cake.
Makes a huge difference.
Icing.
And you were telling me yesterday that you think that's why my garden has grown, because I'll have people send me pictures of their plants, and you know they're not as big as my plants basically, and they say, "What are you doing?" And I say, "Oh, I fertilize and I give lots of water." But you think the mulch has something to do with my plants?
There's a couple things. I mean, you're in the Central Valley of California, which feeds America.
I know.
So your soil probably isn't terrible.
Yeah.
You know, so let's throw that out there. So people could be starting from a much more compact, much more difficult situation,
place.
and so my heart's out to you if you got new construction and they just scraped all the topsoil away and that kind of thing. But I will say, so in my new construction house, in my old house, I was there 23 years.
Yeah.
23 years of just regular mulching. I had about maybe 1.5 inches of kind of humus in 23 years.
That's crazy.
This new place, this new project, we went wood chip first.
Yeah.
And we have, you can't find the clay kind of soil.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this, yes, it's a cheat code for, basically it took 23 years of work at the old house, and this house was 18 months, 2 years. And I already had that kind of topsoil.
Yeah. I just think it is absolutely necessary, right? So, all right, well, I have one more plant I want you to tell us about. It's in the backyard. It's one of my podocarpus, and I actually never talk about this plant because I don't know too much about it, so I'm glad you're here to tell me about it.
Awesome.
All right, so we're in the back garden now, and this is, I have a lot of podocarpus in my garden, but I have Podocarpus gracilior. This is Podocarpus Roman... Macrophyllus.
And the name of it is Roman candle. Somebody gave it for this white foliage selection.
So its name is Roman candle.
Roman candle, and I say it should have been Roman candles. It seems like it has candles, but it is Roman candle.
So it's a variegated podocarpus.
Yes.
It's new, right? It's new to the market.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And yours has grown. So we have 2 of them in the garden. Yours has grown quite a bit, and I think your cool nights are probably helping, even though you're hot.
It does cool down at night.
It cools down a lot at night, and plants grow at night. And so sometimes I'm out here in Oregon or Washington or California, and plants actually grow faster despite some difficult conditions.
Really?
Just because it's night, it's like can rest, take the opportunity to kind of reset.
So I didn't know plants grow at night.
Yes.
That's a new thing.
Yeah. Well, it's like a solar panel during the day, gathering up everything it needs, and then
it does its growth.
They'll do some growing. Well, we really like this one. There's some ones that are just California, kind of specific southwestern ones. This one's much more cold hardy. And we'll see Podocarpus, Macrophyllus, or Buddhist pines or something is the common name for these. But they're like, if you go to Charleston, where they have small lots, people just like have sheared hedges of these that are 12 feet tall.
Yeah.
The thing about this one, I would say here in California, apparently you can grow it as a screening plant pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But in Raleigh, this is a fairly slow growing plant because of that white variegation. And so I think it best as a container plant or a specimen plant or some sort of thing like that.
Oh, interesting.
And like if I put this on the edge of the property and said it's going to be a screen and I bought it this tall, I think it's going to be like 10 years or more
before it even gets.
But for you, apparently,
I mean, it's soil, definitely growing, right, Jason? When you say it's growing like that big,
I can see the growth on it. Right there, just this end of this season.
I've been ignoring this thing. I have not been. it's hooked up to drip and everything like that, but I haven't done anything to it this whole year, and it's just been fantastic. It's been really, really great. So I'm happy to see, that it's a plant that's going to work really well, and it's cool that it works in your area too.
Yeah, and if you've got narrow space somewhere, it's the perfect screening. Perfect screening plant for that. But another plant that's kind of conifers for the hot areas. Yeah. It's one of the issues. I'm sure you're 100 degrees, even though I'm saying your nights are cooler, it does limit.
Conifers are such an issue. I have such a hard time. Even conifers that are supposed to be for heat, sometimes they fry in here,
So Podocarpus, junipers, cryptomeria. You tried any cryptomeria at all?
I've tried cryptomeria at my last house. It just grew really slow. I just haven't put it in this house yet. But
yeah, that's the kind of the southern conifers.
Yeah. Well, I need a conifer crew. Have you seen Jim's conifer crew T-shirt? I need one of those.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We'll get you one out of the van.
Awesome.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming. We had fun yesterday filming a couple videos and went out to dinner. And are you going to the Halloween party tonight?
I'm going to a Halloween party.
Yes.
We have no costumes. You're going
as gardeners.
I'm going as my.
You're going as horticulturists.
My high school uniform.
Stay tuned tomorrow. I'll have some clips of that, and I'll give you guys a tour. It's Michael Glassman's Halloween party. So I'll give you guys a little tour of his decorations, so it should be really fun. So thanks so much for being here. I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a chance to get in your garden today.